Happy Tuesday, friends. Today is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023, and this is my weekly vlog. Before we jump into the quilty projects that I worked on this week, I do want to let you know that our family grew by another 4 furry paws this week, and you're going to want to stick around to the end of the video to get a dose of cuteness overload. This week I worked on just a couple of projects, and I've got a couple of tips for you in those. The first project that I tackled was the Home Again Quilt-Along. As you know, this is a quilt-along that is hosted by Fat Quarter Shop. It is a 5-week quilt-along, and in weeks 1 through 4, you're going to make the same block 3 times. And then in week 5, you'll take all 12 of those blocks and put them together into a quilt. Last week, I talked to you about how the pattern's going to have you make some flying geese units using the 4 at a time, no waste method, which is genius. I had a little bit of struggle with that because I found when I was sewing on the line that I was drawing, my flying geese units were coming out just a little too small. So my trick for you last week was to sew just to the left of that line by just a couple of threads, and that had my flying geese units coming out perfect. I am more of a visual learner. I don't know about you, but when I can see somebody do something, it just clicks in my brain and I feel like I retain the knowledge a little bit better. And for that reason, I want to make sure that you know about Becky Thompson over at Power Tools with Thread. I think Thompson is her last name. I'm not sure. I hope I'm right on that. Anyway, Becky has done an amazing video tutorial on the 4 at a time flying geese method, and she's actually doing this quilt along too. So in the description box down below, I'm going to link to her channel, and I'm going to link to her 4 at a time video. So if you haven't checked out her channel, I'm sure most of you are already subscribed to her, but if you haven't heard of her, if you didn't know about that video, please go over, check out her content, and if you like what you see, subscribe to her channel. That's the best way to tell her that you like what she's doing over there, if you subscribe and watch some of her content. After this week, you should officially have 6 of those 12 blocks that you're going to need for Home Again done. I have 6 of mine done, but I have streamlined some of the process so that in weeks 3 and 4, the time that it's going to take for me to complete my quilt block, it's going to be a little bit, not so much. So what I've done is I have built all of my flying geese units and the corner blocks for each of the star blocks that we're building out. Really, that just means in weeks 3 and 4, when it's time to put together my blocks, I just need to sit down and build out 3 9-patch blocks in week 3 and 3 9-patch blocks in week 4. I don't have to do anything else. It's all ready for me to go. That should streamline some of my sewing and help me stay on track, even though I'm going to be out of town for a work conference next week. I did not work on the Radical Cassettes quilt along. Please forgive me. I've just had a lot of stuff going on this week. Easter took up a lot of my quilting time, and I had some other priorities that I needed to get done. And because I have slowed it down, slowed down the progress on this project, I figured it was okay to let that one slide. Here's where I'm at though. This week is going to be a relatively short week for me. I have reduced numbers of hours to do quilting and sewing stuff because I will be out of town for a work trip next week. So I know this week and next week, I'm going to get zilch done on that project. So rather than having this stressor hanging over my head to do some of that project, I'm going to pause that until I come back from my work trip. In 2 weeks, when I am back right here, we'll talk about what our plan is. I think it's just going to be to pick it up with step 1, do step 1, make a little bit of progress, and show you as I go. So if this is a project that you actually wanted to do, but you needed it to go at a slower pace than what the quilt along is, I would encourage you to grab the pattern from Love So Modern. I will link it in the description box below. Grab some fabric, either from your favorite fabric shop. I have a couple of affiliate links if you'd like to do some shopping, or from your stash, and we'll sew this together starting at the end of April. So you have some time to get your fabric, get it starched, and get it cut. I did work on 2 other quilt tops this week. The first one I did completely on a live stream. So if you missed my Friday night live stream, I didn't know what project to work on. I was kind of at a loss. And I've been having a hankering, an inkling to do some improv piecing. If you don't know what that is, you can watch me step by step break this down in the live stream replay, which I will also link in the description box below. It's a lot of fun. It is a mindless sew, and it's just really freeing to sew without measuring. Yeah, you heard that right. You cut the fabric without measuring it, and you sew it, and you see where it goes. I actually really enjoyed myself. I only made 1 block, but I do have a desire to make several other blocks that match the block that I did on the live stream. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like the piecing part of it went really quickly, and I spent an hour of the 2-hour live stream starching fabric. Speaking of live streams, on Saturday evening, Tiffany, Teresa, Ian, and I were live on Tiffany's channel, and we took what we called a Live with Line Work challenge. This was a challenge where each of us brought the same layer cake. It was a layer cake featuring line work by Tula Pink and our own coordinating fabric and the pattern of our choosing, so that we could showcase projects that you could do with a layer cake. And we wanted to keep it a little bit similar, so we all chose the same layer cake. I am really excited about my project. You can kind of see it hanging right here over my shoulder. I am putting together the Kaleidoscope of Stars quilt top. This is a quilt that I saw Beth from Goody Goods, link her channel in the description box below. I saw her put this together several months ago, and I've been wanting to do it ever since. And so when we talked about our line work challenge, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to do it. My goal for this project is to have the center block, which you can kind of see here. There you go. The center blocks should be a piece of fabric from the line work line. The background is actually the black fairy dust from Tula Pink. And then the star legs are all Tula Pink solids, really bright colors that just punch you in the face. And I'm loving how this is going together. Tiffany, Teresa, and Ian have amazing projects that they have come up with as well. And I don't want you to miss what they are doing with the same layer cake. So make sure to head down to the description box down below. I will have each of their channels linked so you can check out their content and see what their projects look like when it's all done. And oh, by the way, Ian was an overachiever because on Sunday he had his live stream and he finished his quilt top. So it's already out there in the universe. His quilt top's done. Make sure to hop over there and check out what it looks like. I did get some time to work on the long arm this past week, and I'm really excited about that too. I only quilted 1 project, but 1 project is better than no projects. And it did eat up the rest of the backing that I had on the long arm, so I didn't have any room to load any other projects. As of the recording of this video, I now have off of the long arm the February 2023 Open Gate Quilts box project. I have the Feathered Stars project, which is using my framed stars pattern. I am horrible at coming up with names, you guys. And then I have the table runner, the braid table runner that I made as a prototype for my So Yeah class that I taught, showing you how to put together a friendship braid. Now, I have done several of these by now. This is the very first one that I did using either flower pot or folktail. I can't remember, but it was using a Lella Boutique fabric, and I got that quilted and squared up as well. When I quilted that table runner, I didn't know exactly what to do, but I took a little bit of inspiration from Tucker. When Tucker came to visit for my birthday, he quilted my friendship braid quilt. And there was a lot of fullness, and I wasn't really sure how I wanted it quilted, so I gave him creative control. And all he did were kind of like these up and down lines, and he made them varying in lengths and just kind of was a little consistent with the width. And so I did the same thing. But instead of going up and down with the braid, I went kind of like back and forth. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I chose to use a very soft gray to quilt it with, which I think blends absolutely beautifully. The project is nice and flat, definitely square. I got it squared up really nicely. I just got to put some binding on it and it'll be ready for somebody's table very soon. All of my quilting projects were great, but that wasn't the highlight of my week this week. The highlight of my week was that our family grew by 4 furry paws. This past weekend, with the help of my sister-in-law Amber, our family adopted a brand new 8-week-old fur baby. We brought a Shih Tzu into our home to love and to cuddle with, but also to be a playmate for Beetlejuice, who, if I'm being completely honest, this dog reminds me of the Tasmanian devil. He has just got all of the energy. So I thought it would be a great idea if we could give him a little playmate, a little life companion to play with, to kind of keep things maybe a little less chaotic. So far, they have been getting along absolutely famously. I will say Beetlejuice has probably about 100 times the energy that Akumu, our Shih Tzu, does, but they do get along great. Akumu has no problem letting Beetlejuice know when he's had enough, and actually instigates play quite a bit with Beetlejuice. So I think they're going to be best buds. They're going to be absolutely amazing brothers, and we're happy to have both of them in our home. So that's this past week. Looking forward to this coming week. I don't have a ton of time to really do much, but I want to make some more progress on this baby. I want to stay current with the Home Again quilt along. And then I think if I can, I would also, so that's this past week. Looking forward to this coming week. I have the puzzle mystery quilt that I need to work on clue number 3 for. I need to stay current on the Home Again quilt along, and I would like to make some star blocks for this bad boy, and maybe even an improv block or 2. We'll see where it takes us. There's going to be some weeks where I'm going to have lots of capacity to do all of the things, and some weeks where I just have reduced capacity and I'm not going to get as much done. And this is one of those weeks where it's going to be more on the less is more side of things. Next week, I will be out of town for work in the Vegas area, and I'm not taking Bubba with me, but I am going to take some hand projects. I think I'm going to pack a couple of embroidery kits, and I'm going to work on those while I'm out of town. On Friday, April 21st, I'm going to meet up with Eric and Tiffany. We're going to do some quilt shop hopping. We're going to enjoy each other's company. I think we're even going to grab a bite to eat. We had originally planned to do a live stream from Vegas together, but Tiffany's family is going through a lot of stuff right now, and I don't want to get into that here, but I think it's probably a good idea if I just focus on spending time with Tiffany rather than being in front of a camera. And so for that reason, I am canceling my live stream on Friday, April 21st. But Donna from Handmade by Ying has graciously offered to step into my time slot. So she is going to go live on Friday, April 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time instead of her normal 10 p.m. So if you're looking for a place to be on Friday, April 21st at 8 p.m., I won't be live, but Donna from Handmade by Ying will. Also, if you're interested in meeting up with Tiffany, Eric, or myself while we're in Vegas hopping around on Friday, we'll post on social media where we're going to be and when we're going to be there. And if you want to stop by, say hi, give us a hug, grab a cup of coffee with us, whatever the case may be, feel free. We'd love to see you. Thank you for watching my weekly vlog. I can't wait to get busy on this project. So we're going to turn off the camera and I'm going to get sewing. I'll see you guys all real soon. Bye.